Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I'm going to give you a second hairstyle. Okay, I'm just going to take this head. I'm going to make a duplicate. I just hit Control D on the keyboard, and I'm going to go and isolate it. And I want to figure out where I want to make my hair. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get this face, double click on that one. I held down Shift and I double clicked, and I'm just going to delete. Delete. Let's go here, double click, there, double click, and I'll delete that. Get rid of that thing. Let's see if I can get rid of some of these ears here. I kind of like how it tucks up against the head. I'm just going to go in here and double click on that, double click on that. Just going to hit F and see if I got the whole ring. Yay! There, I got the whole ring. I'm just going to go and hit Mesh, Edit Mesh, Detach. Actually, before I hit that, what if I go over here to Symmetry and I put on World and give me the edge on the other side, and then go Mesh, Edit Mesh rather, Detach, and then when I take these faces and I double click, I'm going to get rid of that, and anything else in here, this one down over there, delete, there, delete, and maybe I'm going to get rid of those too. Okay, this should be good enough for what I want to do. I'm kind of looking, and if I see anything kind of stretched here like this, maybe if I grab that edge and I edge ring and split, and that kind of put it really close to the head, but that's okay. Actually, you know what, I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm just looking at some of these that are on the top of the head. They're going to be the ones that look the worst. Okay, and maybe one more thing. Let's just go and hit this off here. I'm just going to go to the Surfaces Sculpt Geometry tool. I have it on Relax. I'm just going to hit Fluid there, and it keeps the shape and totally goes and evens everything out. And actually, I see something else stupid that's bugging me. I'm just going to take this and collapse the edge, and I'll hit G and G. That's clean. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I'll hit G and collapse those. Okay. Good enough. Let's kill the history. Next thing I want to do, lay out the UVs. And if I close this, the UVs are kind of laid out. I'm just going to go and hit it with UV, camera based. And then I'll go in, double click on this, and I'll go to modify. And I'm using the unfold with all the default unfold settings. Bloop. And then I can hit modify layout, and if I'm using legacy on the layout, world, free, hit apply, goes to the side here. I'm just going to go and rotate it, so I'm going to hold down J, and then I'll go back over here and I'm going to turn off the rotate to none, hit apply, and it fits in the 0 to 1 area, and I'm happy. This is going to be in the 0 to 1 area for this trick to work. Okay, and let's delete the history, and I'm going to call this scalp. Done. Okay. Let's bring back everything. And then what I'm going to do is switch from modeling over to FX. And if I go into FX and I go to nHair, create hair, I'm going to open this up. I got to change one option. At selected surface points and faces. I actually have to have faces selected. Select. I'm just going to hit convert selection to faces. The hotkey is Control F11. Boop. There. And when I hit create hairs, boop, it creates a bunch of nHair for me. Okay, so the nHair might be kind of goofy looking to start off with. I'm just going to go and hit Control A, go over here to the hair system shape. I'm going to hit select. If I want to make the hair longer, if I'm on frame 1, I can go here and hit the scale hair tool. Whoop. It's got to make sure that you only use this tool when you need it. So I'm going to go and actually maybe that's a bit long. How about there? Okay, and then I just switch to the move tool because that thing's going to come back and haunt you if you don't do that. I go into the hair system shape and I go to clump, and this is where you increase the amount of hair, but it's kind of slow when you do that. So I'm going to try to go in here and let's make the width bigger. You see the clump width is kind of overlapping, and I can make this bigger. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Then I'm going to go up here and maybe play with the thinning. I'll press play. And you can see it kind of coming down to the side here and crashing into the head. You might notice that if you select the head, oh, I got the move tool on, great, got this. I'm going to go to the end cloth menu and hit create passive collider, and end cloth and end hair kind of work together. If I go back to the first frame and I press play, The hair might go a bit slower because it's kind of right on top of the head and it's looking for collisions. Okay, but it collides with the head now, and so you might get a slightly better haircut. I'm going to stop this and do this. And this might be a good starting point for your hair. I can grab it, and starting point for how you're going to style it. I'm going to go to hair, and I'll hit set start position from current. Okay, so, and now I'm just going to take a look at a couple of other things in this hair system shape here. You can see the hair looks a little bit kinky in spots. If I go into subsegment 1, maybe 2, I'm going to keep it at 1, unless I need more. And I put in more hairs per clump. Okay, you can see I got lots more hair. This is something you usually want to do near the end when you need to fill it up. You can put in more hairs. You can go beyond 100 if you need to. And you can also increase your hair thickness here too. So I might go and crank it up to, like, I don't know, we'll see what it looks like. I'll do a render of this later on. But that looks good. Now the next thing is to style this. To style it, if I go into nHair and I go to display, boop, there is a start position menu. There's your start position for all your curves. And I'm just going to close this for a second. I'm going to make sure I hide my control layers. Okay, great. I'm going to grab all my curves. Okay, let's try that again. Grab all the curves. And I'm going to go to nHair, modify curves, lock length. Okay. And what that does is it lets it so that when I grab one of these hairs and I go right click and I grab a control vertex, when I move it, it locks the length. And I can start to kind of style this thing. Okay, same with this one here, right click, grab the control vertex. Now this starts to get tedious if you have to do a bunch of hair. So if I want to grab a few of them, here I'll grab a few right here like that. And I go, we've got the lock length on here. If I go to select, there's select last CV. And I select something else. It's not happy about this, so I might have to, it might be selecting some other object. The last thing it's selecting is a follicle, so I'm just going to make sure the last thing is a curve. I'll go select last CV on the curve. Great. Actually, that's strange. Let's grab these and let's try it again. Select last CV, and it gives me an error again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this menu. And there's other stuff being selected. Actually, let's do it from here. Let's hit show none, show polygons, and then I'm going to go to show NURBS curves. Grab all the NURBS curves, deselect the head, deselect the eyeballs, and we'll try this again. Oh, deselect the scalp, select last CV. There we go. Now we're fine. We're not showing the CVs, so NURBS CVs. There you go. So then I can kind of start to style this. And if I display all curves, and I go here to show, and I find the paint effects hair, so I have to go to display paint effects, and sometimes they call this strokes, of course. So if I'm on frame 1, you can see the hair update as I'm pulling these curves around and trying to get a nice hairstyle out of this. Okay, and what time are we at? 8 minutes. Okay, one more thing I might do. This scalp here, if I go and I find it, and what have I got on here, and I can't select it. Actually, why? What am I doing wrong? Okay, let's go over here to the outliner, and do I have my scalp sitting right here? Of course not. I got my geometry, my there, scalp. Okay, I'm just going to make a duplicate of the scalp really quick, and I'm going to go in here and isolate it, and I'm going to delete everything except for these two faces. So I'll quickly invert this, delete, get rid of that. And I'm also just going to take this one edge, and I'm going to delete that out. And I'm going to take this, and so we got this thing called scalp here. Great. Delete the history. I'm actually going to call this ponytail. Okay, because I have to... Oh, crap, you bastard. There, backspace, enter, done. Grab by the face, and I'm going to go to nHair, and I'm going to go create hair. I'm going to go down to the option here and make a new hair system. Okay, on select the faces and points, and I go hit create hair. Bloop. And so this has created a new hair system for me. So hair system 2. Okay, and it's kind of hard to see. I'm just going to take the other paint effects hair and I'm just going to hide it. I'm just going to hit H. And you can see there I've got this tiny little hair system. Okay, and it's got hair system. There's a follicle on it. I'm going to go into the attribute editor, and in the attribute editor there's the follicle, one follicle for this. Remember, there's all these little red follicles all over the place. This one I'm going to turn on braid, and when I do that I can grab the paint effects hair, actually grab the hair system, and I'll go to nHair, and I'll go here to scale hair tool. Whoop, make a long hair. Pew, pew. Okay, great. And then I can go to the hair system here, and hairs per clump. We can bring that up a little bit, and I can take the clump width, and let's go beyond 1. There. Okay, and I need to bring in some sub-segments so I get something kind of curly. But you can start to see the clump, or you can see the hair braid. And if I go in here and I go to the first frame and I press play, it's going to slowly come down. Okay, I might have to style this much as I did the other one. Okay, but here we'll just bring it down and I'll say stop. Grab this. Oh, I've got the scale hair tool on, so did it make it longer? No, okay, good. Go in here to nHair and set start position from current. Okay, so when I go to the first frame, it looks like that, and I can go in there, and you already know all the other things I do with the other hair, but I can start to build this up, and let's bring back this. Whoop. Yeah, you can start to build a hair system from this. The scalp pieces need to be bound to the head bone, and it'll follow along. Maybe one more thing is, as the simulation is going, if you're in the hair system shape here, you'll find in the dynamic properties, if you want to kind of keep the hair kind of in that shape that you built, start curve attract. You turn that up, and your life is great. And I'm going to stop this video.